Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very sick version of the Basement Birds podcast. I don't appreciate how Reid is laughing at me right now. As you can probably hear.
Your voice took that took 10 years off you in that intro.
As you can probably hear, my voice is still a little broken.
My gosh.
So
holy cow! Yeah,
we're gonna struggle through this
We're gonna
episode.
power
We didn't
through.
have one
Yeah.
last week. This is my second record. I did do the hockey podcast yesterday, which was interesting. Luckily, we had a good guest who was very talkative. I still don't appreciate how you're laughing at me. You're not laughing with me. You're laughing at me.
Okay, 1 second. This reminds me. You've seen Impractical Jokers, right?
Yes.
Have you seen the episode where Murr gets the Novocaine shots in his cheeks and he has to give that presentation? When he starts laughing in that, his voice gets so much higher, and that's what you sound like when he's trying to talk through the laugh.
Well, that's not what's happening. So,
oh my gosh,
we don't have my luxurious dark chocolate voice that we're normally used to. This is like a Hershey's bar, off-brand, chunky, old, moldy chocolate bar.
Sun. Yeah, it kind of melted a
it's
little
like
bit.
Goopy. Yeah, it's like it's like a bag full of melted chocolate. You're like, oh god,
that's jeez. My word. What?
What's going on? My boxes are switching.
Is that changing for you too? I thought that was just
what
on
the
my
heck
end.
is going on here?
Sorry. Wait, no, sorry.
Well, so we took the week off last week because of American Thanksgiving.
We had to give thanks.
We did. I was very sick throughout the course of that whole week. You were in town a little bit, Reid. How was your experience back in the old Midwest?
It was good. I was back home in Wisconsin, so that was great.
Did you eat any cheese?
Of course. Yeah. Is the sky blue?
Are you lactose intolerant? Why is everyone from Wisconsin lactose intolerant? Can we talk about that?
You know,
I guess we're just intolerant.
I am. Yeah,
I think you are. Yeah.
We're just. You think you are because I am. You think I am because I am.
Yeah, no, I think you are.
We're just too great from the Midwest that we had to be nerfed a little bit. So they gave us the lactose intolerant bug.
I see. Okay.
But that don't stop me from eating cheese. I'll tell you that much. Okay. But it was a good time. Had a good time being home. Got home.
You got to see me,
fine.
Right?
That was
the highlight of the trip.
I'm getting there. Okay.
Oh gosh. I'm impatient.
Had a good time getting home. Had a whale of a time getting back.
A whale.
A whale. Yeah, like a blue whale sized
beluga?
disaster getting home. So the plan was Sunday after Thanksgiving, I were to take the train down from Milwaukee to a station outside of Chicago, and then Logan very generously drove and came and picked me up from the train station and was going to drive me to the airport. But we were going to grab food first. So get on the train at 3. That's fine. Gets into Glendale or Glenview around 4:05, 4:10. Amtrak was running behind. What else is new? The sky is blue.
I was there on time. I'd like
Logan
to
was there
add
on
into
time,
that story.
So get in the car with Logan.
No, I parked on the wrong side of the tracks, but that's okay.
It's not really a wrong or right side, but
it was the wrong side.
So then we went to Portillo's for dinner because I like Portillo's.
There was theft happening. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I'm still talking about the wrong side of the tracks.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Like Jesus. So we go to Portillo's for dinner, which was great because I like Portillo's. It's a good I don't know. It's like one of the things I got to eat when I go back to the Chicagoland area because I like their stuff. Good hot dogs. I think you had a hot dog.
You didn't even get a
hot
hot dog, did you?
Yeah, I did. I got 2 hot dogs.
Did you put ketchup on it?
No.
Okay.
I got it with everything.
I got a good old Italian beef sandwich.
Oh, that's right. I got the hot dogs with everything, but I took the I took the sport peppers off. I'm not a big fan of those.
Okay.
But anyway, so I had my 2 hot dogs.
Detail of that story.
Yeah.
Cheese fries.
I forgot. Well, mine didn't have cheese because I thought I ordered it, but I guess I didn't. You probably forgot that part. But we're eating dinner, and we're talking. We're talking about an upcoming trip that we're both going on, which I guess we can talk about later in the episode.
Next week.
We're talking about that, and I got this email from United, the wonderful airline, or they're an airline, saying that my flight has been delayed. Okay, the flight was really supposed to take off from O'Hare around 8:45 at night, get me into the airport near where I'm from at around 11:30 at night. Okay, the flight.
I thought it was already delayed when I picked you up from the train.
No, I think I got the first email when we were at the restaurant.
Okay. I thought for sure it was anyway. Okay,
I don't think
unimportant.
so. Anyway, so my flight was delayed. I don't even remember when it was supposed to take off after that. I think it was like 9:45 or like 9:30, something like that. It was delayed. It would get me in around midnight. Okay, so that was like I was already very close to like being like getting to the airport too early, with like checking a bag and stuff. And at that point, it was like I don't know what, like 5:30. No, it would have been like 5, and like
Yeah.
you were getting fringe on like getting to the airport too early. So luckily there was another flight that I could take the next morning that would leave Chicago around what time did that flight leave? Around 8:30, I think, and get me into DC
In the morning.
No,
Yes.
left around 9, and it got me to DC around noon, and then I would make a connection at Dulles that would leave at 12:45 and get me into PA around like 1:30. It's a nice short flight for that second leg. So I'm like, great, I'll just do that. United was kind enough to put me up in a hotel for Sunday night, gave me some meal credits, which I didn't end up using, but that's okay. Which was nice that you picked me up because we weren't at the airport yet, so you could just drive me to the hotel, make sure I got checked in, and I can go on my way. The hotel had a shuttle and everything that I took Monday morning. That would have been. Get to the airport, get through
Like
security
Robin
at
Hood and his
O'Hare.
band of merry men. Yes.
Yes.
That's what we were like.
I get through security just fine at O'Hare. O'Hare security is great. I don't know what your thoughts on it are, but I think they got great security.
Sure. I've only been there once. I always fly out of Midway.
Very long. I never wait very long in O'Hare security. I think I was through in like 15 minutes, which was great. So I get to my gate, yada, yada. Great, okay. Get on the plane. Think I'm going to have a little bit of a tight connection. Double check with the flight attendant. She says I'm chilling, so I'm chilling. Watch some TV on the little screen that they had on the plane, because United has, like, every plane, the newer planes have screens for everyone, which is great. Didn't know about that. Connect to my earbuds and stuff wirelessly, too, to it. It was pretty sick. So I was loving that. Land in D.C. right around 12, and I have 45 minutes until my next flight leaves. So I am hauling it through Dulles to get to the people movers that they have, which looks like a bus on stilts, pretty much. Or it looks like a train car on stilts, but it's operated like a bus. You kind of have to see them to understand what I'm talking about. Let me...
Yeah, let's see these people movers here.
Let me share my screen and get... They call them...
Yeah, let's go ahead and share it. So I can see what you're talking about. So
let
the
me find a
people,
good photo of them. They're people movers.
because when you say people mover at an airport, I assume you mean like an escalator that's flat.
Oh, no. This is like a moving vehicle. Let me share my screen quick. I can do a tab, right? Yeah, share. All right. So what you're looking at here, if it's going to work, these guys, okay? Oops. Can you see the share this tab?
Oh,
here we go.
Yeah.
These guys, okay? So they have these little fins on them so you can see them easier, and I guess they aren't as high off the ground as they looked, but they look kind of like a train car, but, it's not really a bus. It's not really, they're these things, essentially. So hop on one of those, and this thing sits there at the little place you pick it up for like 10 minutes. And at that point, it's like 12:15, 12:20. Luckily, it was only like a 2-minute drive once we got going. Get to the other terminal. Because the way that Dulles has, I should preface this, I landed at a D gate, and Dulles' one terminal has C and D, and then there's another one, A and B. But there's no way to connect between them besides the train or the people mover. So the people mover takes you from the D to the A part, which is where I need to go. So get off the people mover, the A terminal, get to my gate, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, great, we're going to be boarding soon. And then it flashes that it's delayed. I'm like, all right, no big deal. It's a little bit delayed. That's okay. We wait maybe 30 minutes. It's delayed. And now the time is getting pushed back. I'm like, oh, gosh, okay, this could be interesting. Hopefully it's not too long. Okay. We're about 2 hours into said delay now, okay? And they come on the loudspeaker, and they're like the plane is a mechanical issue. It's a tire issue, okay? There's a flat tire. It's not holding pressure, which is obviously not safe to fly with. So
No,
they're either
no,
going
it's
to
not.
look. The thing is, though, is that here at Dulles Airport, which, mind you, is a United hub, one of the many hubs that the airline is based out of, they do not have any tires, okay, to fix this tire, which is a problem, okay? They don't have any tires. So they're going to look around to see if anyone else has a tire that they can use. Another airline essentially has another tire. Or they're going to try to get a new aircraft for us, okay? So about 2 hours later, now 4 hours into said delay, this is now like 4 o'clock DC time, we can see the crew get off the plane, which isn't good. We're like, oh gosh, we're going to be here for a while. The original pilots timed out, so they could not fly the plane anymore. So that was great. Not like we had a plane to fly, okay? So now we're just waiting.
I guess
so
I didn't realize that was an issue that you had to be concerned about.
Yes, yeah, like crews
I
can
didn't know.
time out.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I've never.
So that'll
knock
happen.
on wood here that I've never had that issue.
Yeah. So then a couple more hours go by, and we're around 7 o'clock at night. Okay. And I'm getting kind of impatient. I'm chatting with someone from United, trying to see if I can get on the flight for tomorrow, because the same flight also runs the next day. That would be 12:45, getting at 1:30, and I could see if I could just get a hotel. They said I could get a hotel, but the issue was getting my bag off the plane, because the bag was already on the plane or in the system somewhere. And I talked to the ramp or to the gate agent, and they said that they're unable. The gate agent. I wanted to say ramp agent for some reason, but that's not it.
Ramp, give me my bag.
But
that's what I picture you doing.
And they're like, no,
shouting
we can't
out the door.
They're like, if we pull an individual bag off the plane, it could take 2 hours. Because I was also, rewind back to 4 o'clock. I was considering getting my bag and getting a rental car and driving the 3 hours back to Pennsylvania. Okay. But that wouldn't work because I would need to wait 2 hours for my bag. And I'm like, surely the situation will get sorted itself out before then, right? That makes logical sense.
Right.
Because they had decided on getting a plane from Chicago to fly to D.C. and then take us to PA. Okay, that plane from Chicago was supposed to take off at 5:30. Okay, but they had an issue with finding a crew for that plane too. So I couldn't get my bag off to get the rental car, and I couldn't get my bag off to get the hotel. So I got put on the next day's flight, and I had to get put back on that flight. So I ended up getting a seat upgrade, which was nice. I originally wasn't 12B, but I got moved up to 3A, so that was nice. And I was technically flying standby because that's how the guy had to put me back on the list or something like that. So fast forward to around 7 o'clock around this time, it was very apparent that this plane from Chicago has not left on time because they don't have a crew. New updated leaving time for that plane is 7:30. It's about a 2-hour flight. 7:30 Chicago time, so it would get to D.C. 10:30 local time. Okay? And we are waiting and waiting. And this plane from Chicago does not have a crew or take off until 10 o'clock Chicago time. Okay? So at that point, that's 11 o'clock DC time. We are 11 hours into this delay. It's going to be a while. So me, trying to think ahead about what I want to do here, I make a call to a hotel near the airport that I'm flying into back in Pennsylvania. And I say, I will hopefully be landing around 2 or 3 in the morning, okay? Do you have any rooms that I can just crash at for the night? Because I had about a 45-minute drive home. There were snow flurries in the middle of the night. I didn't want to make that drive. There's deer. You're kind of driving through the middle of nowhere. I wasn't trying to mess around with that, I was also up for a while. I was up at 5 a.m. that morning. So I'm going on, pretty much being up for 17 hours at that point. I didn't want to drive. Ended up getting a hotel reserved at a super rate that ended up being a Quality Inn. But I'll mention that later. So ended up getting that taken care of, okay? So finally, this plane from Chicago takes off at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock DC time. 2 hours later, it lands at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it's a miracle because it's been 13 hours for myself and 30 other people feeling like we're stranded in Washington in Dulles Airport. Okay, so the plane lands and the gate agent is just like, all right, we just need to scan the crew's IDs and then we'll be good to board. Okay, and then another problem arose. The flight attendant that was on the plane coming from Chicago was off on what ended up being Tuesday and could not work the flight to Pennsylvania. But there was another flight attendant there that United had sent to work the flight, so that was fine. But the new flight attendant was not on the manifest for the plane, so could not they couldn't board until that got sorted out, and that took another 45 minutes. So finally,
Oh gosh.
at 1:45 in the morning, we boarded the plane. After a 13-hour, 45-minute delay, we boarded the plane for literally a half-hour flight to Pennsylvania. And I landed, got out of the airport around, I don't know, it was probably like a 40-minute flight. We landed around 2:35 local time in Pennsylvania, finally, and got my bag, got to the hotel around 3 in the morning, and shout out to the guy for being nice and accommodating and also working quick at the counter to get me into that room very, very quickly because I was tired as all hell at that point. Because I was running, I was up for 22 hours. I had my contacts in the whole time. They were feeling like they were going to fall out of my head. Also a reason why I didn't want to drive. So I got to the hotel, went to bed around 3:15 and just like slept great. I think I ended up waking up around like 8:45, so I got a good 5-ish hours of sleep, which was more than I was, expecting because I'm not someone that sleeps late. And then I made the drive home Tuesday morning, almost 48 hours after I left home back in Wisconsin, and I finally made it back to my apartment at like 10 o'clock Tuesday morning.
Wow.
It was terrible.
That's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
A couple thoughts. Number one, have you ever seen that movie Terminal?
No.
With Tom Hanks? Oh, you got to watch that.
I have not, no.
It's where Tom Hanks gets trapped in an airport.
Airport-related movies after that for a while.
He gets trapped in an airport and ends up like living there for like months and months and months and months.
Oh gosh, that sounds
because
terrible.
He can't leave because he doesn't have a passport, but then he can't leave the airport because if he did, he'd be arrested. It was like all sorts of jacked up. So,
jeez. Well, one thing too I should mention with this whole delay is that I was kind of irritated at United for how little they did to make us happy customers of their airline, because last Thanksgiving, coincidentally, I was delayed leaving Chicago on the same flight I was supposed to take Sunday night due to mechanical issues. The flaps weren't working, so we had to turn back to Chicago, get a new plane and stuff. That ended up only being about a 2.5-hour delay, and for that, I got like $100 in flight credit, like I don't know, like 10,000 miles or something like that, and like we got a whole like charcuterie board of snacks and water as we waited. Okay, what we got from that flight, the 13-hour delay the other day, was 3,700 miles and water and Pringles and Goldfish and some meal vouchers, and that's all we got.
Well,
so
while I was listening to you, I was also thinking about the logistics of running an airport and running an airline.
Yeah.
If your delays, then you got to worry about the flight crew and if they're off or whatever, and then who's going to fly this plane, and then we're going to pull a plane from over here and put it like how does that work?
Oh, I have no idea how many people get involved. A ton of people.
How do you, because you figure how many planes go up and down every day? We've both seen the flight maps of the United States. There's hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of planes going up and down. Yeah. And so how many major airline flights are flying every day? Yeah. And then, it's just absurd, honestly. How that, there's not more issues like that. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's a fair amount of it, especially around the holidays when travel is more extensive and there's a lot more people to move around the country. But even just your situation, the logistics of that, to say, okay, we're going to pull a plane from Chicago to DC, but then the crew can't fly because this person has to be home on Tuesday. So we're going to get someone else over here. And then, by the way, this pilot can't fly because the crew timed out or whatever. And to go round and round in circles, and then, to pull off a single bag off the plane to take 2 hours doing that. That in itself too is a little ridiculous.
There's a lot of moving parts. But so
Yes.
long story made short. I wasn't very happy at United with how they handled all of it because every time there was a delay, we got like no information from the gate agents. Like they weren't telling us anything. There's like, oh, they're still trying to get this plane out to us. We're like, when is it supposed to take off? They're like, we don't know. And then like the flight attendant issue is happening. They're working on it, and they aren't telling any of us why we're waiting around at 1 o'clock in the morning to board this plane that's sitting out there. So I called them on Tuesday and kind of gave them a piece of my mind. I called the reservations number though, so they couldn't do much for me. But this nice lady was kind enough to give me an email form that I could fill out for the United Cares crew, and pretty much complain over email. So I think I got 1,000 characters. I think I used 950 of them, and because of my complaining. And asking for miles or flight credit or a refund or something that they could do, I have now gotten 7,500 additional miles. So that made me feel a little bit better that I can use on future flights. So I can't complain too much with what I got back. Just wish that I was not sitting in Dulles Airport for 13 and a half hours essentially before we boarded that plane.
Yeah, I mean,
It was
not to be cynical. And I really, have been called cynical before, and it really bothers me. But, when you're traveling during the holidays, I mean, you kind of have to expect there's going to be some sort of delay, right? I mean,
yes.
I don't know how often have you been flying for holidays since, like how many years now has this been where you've been coming home?
This will be 3 years in a row. But I only think this was only my second delay between this one and last Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, whenever you were here, one of the times it was after a holiday. I think it was Thanksgiving when you flew back. Or maybe it might have been Christmas. I don't know. That one might have been Christmas, I think. I don't know. I just feel like in my broken brain, I haven't traveled very much. Mm-hmm. And so... in my head, it just is like, oh, well, you're flying the week of Thanksgiving. I mean, it's, I would just assume that it's going to be delayed by at least 6 hours, right?
I would agree with that, but it's also the airline's job to be able to handle the capacity of passengers that will be flying through them and to make sure that there aren't delays, to play devil's advocate,
Well... yeah.
Because I think I've only been delayed. Yeah, this was only the second delay. This one and last Thanksgiving. I've never been delayed getting to Chicago or getting to the Midwest. It's always been on the way back. You better
start knocking on wood or something there,
so
brother.
I know, right? Yeah.
Next time you're going to be sitting in the airport. But yeah, no, I agree. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like though too, planes are now everything's oversold, and so they're selling more tickets than seats on the plane, and so I really don't think customer opinions are what they care about necessarily. I mean, again, it's cynical. They're trying to make money, and so if it's like. I mean, I'm sure they're because you reached out. I'm sure they're happy to give you something. But
oh yeah,
I mean, I'm sure they didn't lose any sleep over delaying you for
unless you reach out.
Hours.
No one's gonna get anything else, though.
Right? No, I understand. But yeah, man, that's a crazy Thanksgiving travel experience for you. But yeah, and I mean we're both gonna be traveling a little bit next week too.
We are.
We have a little trip that Nicole is company is sending her on, and I'm tagging along, and we're meeting our good friend Reid.
No.
Oh yeah, Reid up there, and
yeah.
So that should be fun in NYC, New York City, New York.
And we'll have a live in-person podcast episode.
Hopefully, yeah. I've got to make sure I remember to pack all of the appropriate items here. But
are we doing video for that one too?
Well, I was going to bring my camera for pictures anyway. So
yeah. Oh yeah. That works.
We might just have a one camera thing, but
That's fine.
We might be holding some pod mics in our hands the way that real unprofessional podcasters do it.
We'll make it work. We'll make it work.
But it'll be a fun time, and so I look forward to that next week. And then for now, though, we've got everyone's favorite news segment to round out this episode of Basement Birds, Odd News.
Odd news.
We need to. I found out recently that the Joe Rogan Experience theme song was created in GarageBand.
Oh, really?
And that prompted me to think we should have a theme song. Remember the old show? We had a theme song that we played.
We did,
or at least a song or some sort of theme song for Odd News, like
May
something
I
really
suggest,
goofy.
Riverside Tune 6. I don't like that at all.
That was terrible. No, that was awful.
Yep.
That was
all right. I'll try again.
Bleeding. How about this one?
It's not terrible. What about Riverside Tune 3?
Then we can go right into this. All right. Welcome to Odd News, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa, now it's dramatic news.
That was transition 5.
That was transition 5. We can do the rest of the episode what the heck is that guy's name from Taken? Liam Neeson. As Liam Neeson. I don't know who you are. I will look for you. I will find you. I will kill you. Recently, a man, not a boy, a man, was compensated.
Okay. You're going to hurt your voice even more with this.
This actually is less straining on my voice. Thank you very much.
That's very surprising. I was not expecting that.
A man was compensated $2.53 after unwrapping, get this, a smooth Mars bar. A smooth Mars bar.
What does a regular Mars bar look like?
$2.53 in compensation from Mars Wrigley, UK, after he unwrapped a Mars bar known as a Milky Way in the United States and found it was missing its signature ripple. This is a 34-year-old he posted a photo of his unusually smooth candy bar that was posted to the you can't make me laugh when I'm doing it. Unusually smooth candy bar that was posted to the Dull Men's Club group on Facebook. It tasted the same, said Seeger. It was just a lot thinner on the top. And that's not all. It was just not quite as thick. I don't know where this candy bar came from. I don't know who created this candy bar, but
okay, this is brutal.
I will look for you. I will find
and I will eat your candy bar.
Mars bar, and I will eat it.
Jesus.
So that's
that was something.
That's my terrible rendition of Liam Neeson's Taken.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
The Taken candy bar. The sick Logan. All right. Well, that's
sick Logan.
That is weird news.
I don't like that at all.
No, it's nightmare fuel.
All right. Well, mine is a little bit less candy related. This one's titled "Philadelphia Couple Becomes World's Oldest Newlyweds." This is a 100-year-old man and a 102-year-old woman met at a senior living home in Philadelphia, ended up falling in love and getting married. Bernie Littman and Marjorie Fitterman broke the record for the oldest couple to marry aggregate age when they tied the knot on May 19th.
What does aggregate age mean?
Aggregate, combined.
Oh, I see.
They met at a costume party at the facility and later discovered that they both attended University of Philadelphia at the same time, but never crossed paths as students.
Wow.
Litterman's granddaughter...
Now, you can't be much of a surprise there. heck
Letterman's
was that?
granddaughter told
fan?
my furnace is going off. I turned it off. It will be going off momentarily. Sorry.
God.
Letterman's granddaughter said they were so lucky to have found each other and to be a support to each other, especially during the pandemic. They both had 60-plus years of marriage to their first spouses and found love again after 100 years.
Wow.
Wow.
So that was their second marriage then.
Yes. The rabbi that did this ceremony told the couple had eventually reached the point where being not just close friends but husband and wife felt like the right step to take. And Littman credited his long life to reading and staying up to date on world events. And Fitterman attributed her longevity to buttermilk.
Yes. That was like the lady who drank Dr. Pepper every day, and that was her
Yeah.
key to living to
She
105.
lived to be like 106 or something, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So,
dude, buttermilk. Nothing but butternut.
If anyone is out there, thinking that they won't find love, it's you got plenty of time if you live to be 101. All right.
All right.
Oh, that was good timing there. Wow. I really nailed that one.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah.
So, I'm looking forward to recording next week with you in person.
Yep.
And,
yeah, absolutely.
Don't know who you are. If you do not subscribe to the Basement Birds YouTube channel, I will look for you. I will find you.
Are you going to do the social plug in Liam Neeson voice?
And make sure you subscribe. We have all sorts of social media platforms. Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube at Basement Birds. Look it up. And if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you.
I missed that one.
You will not be entertained.
Say the line.
I will kill you. We'll catch you all on the next one.
See ya.